Good evening and thanks for joining us. New Minister of State comes on board with a pledge, and we're digging into some details about antecedents and prospects even as the DSDP arrangement for the 2019-2020 business year is good to go. Winners of the tender have emerged. Pipelines have a very critical role to play in the delivery of Millie performance excellence. It sounds like stating the obvious, but deliberately, the NSCDC has resolved to come on board to run the vandals and oil thieves out of business. And remember, sometime last year, NNPC threw the doors of its entire healthcare facility open to the public. A key step to further entrench access and service delivery is the NNPC HMO. It's been accredited. Plus, 3.1 and 3.2% are the lucky numbers forecasted by OPEC for global GDP growth for 2019 and 2020, respectively, as far as oil market trends and key developments are concerned. It's not any cause for concern, but thanks for joining us on the program. It's because you are concerned. My name is Akin Agbijile. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
On behalf of ExxonMobil affiliates in Nigeria, on behalf of my corporation, I want to commit ExxonMobil to supporting you and your vision for this great country. ExxonMobil has been in Nigeria for well over 40 years. It is my intention that ExxonMobil is here for another 40 years as a partner of choice.
Familiar face on familiar turf, Chief Timipre Silva assumes duty as Minister of State for Petroleum. Winners emerge for NNPC's 2019-2020 DSDP arrangement. It's now down to business. Tough time awaits vandals, says NNPC Civil Defense. NNPC's medical services now more accessible to Nigerians. These are the highlights. Let's do the details after the break.
In the past 4 years, the NNPC had presented a better picture of the image of the country. We will continue to pray for the GMD and the management to keep the flag flying, because excellence in service is a rare commodity.
The newly appointed Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Silva, has assumed duties with a pledge to reposition and chart a way forward for the Nigerian petroleum sector. A press release by the NNPC Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Ndu Amadu, said Chief Silva pledged to work with the experts at the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, and the other departments and agencies under the ministry to move the sector forward. In a welcome ceremony for Chief Silva at the NNPC Towers, Abuja, the new Minister of State for Petroleum Resources was accompanied by his wife, Alayingi Silva, stated that with the caliber of workforce in the ministry, he was sure that the nation's oil and gas sector would move to the next level. Chief Silva, who is the former governor of Bayelsa State, brings on the job several years of cognate experience in the petroleum sector.
I know that we have a very competent management already, especially in the NNPC, in the PTBF, DPR, and the NCDMB. So I would like to take some briefings from all of you. Where we stand, let us know exactly where we are going so that I will understand the way forward.
The new Minister of State contributed profoundly to the institution of amnesty program in the Niger Delta region, which over time has led to restoration of peace in the oil-producing areas of Nigeria. Earlier, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Dr. Folashade Yemi Esan, reassured Chief Silva of the readiness of all members of staff in the ministry to support him to succeed in the onerous task of transforming the Nigerian oil and gas sector for the good of all stakeholders.
All decided and made up our minds that we don't have a choice but to work very hard and to work very well with you. So please be rest assured, sir, that you have a good team that will work with you in the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and all its agencies.
On hand to welcome the minister at the brief ceremony were the Group Managing Director of NNPC, Malam Melekiari, Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, PTDF, Dr. Bello Aliu Gusau, and the Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Equalization Fund, PEF, Alhaji Ahmed Boboy, among others.
The Secretary General of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Barkindo, has congratulated Chief Timi Silva on his appointment as Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Resources. Dr. Barkindo stated that Timi Silva is a veteran in the oil industry in Nigeria, where he served as advisor to former Petroleum Minister, His Royal Highness Dr. Edmond Dakoru. He averred that the new Minister of State will bring his rich experience to bear on his new and heavy responsibilities. The OPEC Secretary General said the organization looks forward to working with Chief Silva to advance the implementation of the historic Declaration of Cooperation and Charter of Cooperation.
In line with its avowed commitment to transparency and accountability in all its activities, as made public by the new Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Melekiari, the National Oil Company has announced winners of its 2019-2020 Direct Sale of Crude Oil and Direct Purchase of Petroleum Product DSDP arrangement. A release in Abuja by the corporation's Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Undu Amadu, said following the completion of the 2019-2020 DSDP tender exercise, 15 consortia companies made up of reputable and experienced international companies and Nigerian downstream companies emerged successful to undertake the 2019-2020 DSDP arrangement.
And beyond that, you do need to focus on some form of accountability and transparency that our partners are looking forward to. The world is looking forward to that. Our business is open so that people can actually predict what we're going to do next. And I believe that this is going to help us.
The contract is for 1 year, effective 1st October 2019 to 30th September 2020. It listed the successful company as follows: 1. BP Oil International Limited / AYM Shafa Limited. 2. Vitol SA / Carlson Hyson. 3. Totsa Total Oil Trading SA / Total Nigeria PLC. 4. Gunvor International BV / AY McKiffey Oil and Gas Company Limited. 5. Trafigura PTE Limited / AA Rano Nigeria Limited. 6. Sepsa SAU / Oando PLC. 7. Moko SA / Moko Nigeria Limited. 8. Litasco SA / Britannia U Nigeria Limited / Freepoint Commodities. 9. MRS Oil and Gas Company Limited. 10. Sahara Energy Resource Limited. 11. Bono Energy Limited / Etena PLC / Aclean Oil and Gas Limited / Amazon Energy. 12. Matrix Energy Limited / Petra Atlantic Energy Limited / UTM Offshore Limited / Levena Energy Development Limited. 13. Mercuria Energy Trading SA / Barbados Oil and Gas Services Limited / Ranoil Limited / Petrogas Energy. 14. Asian Oil and Gas PTE Limited / Airy Energy Limited / Masters Energy Oil and Gas Limited / Casiva Limited. And 15. Duke Oil Company Incorporated. The release stated that the tender process comprised technical and commercial bid submission respectively, evaluation and shortlisting, then commercial negotiations with pre-qualified companies, and engagement of the successful consortia / companies by NNPC. In its takeover note on 8th July 2019, the newly appointed NNPC GMD Malam Kyari had promised to open NNPC books to public scrutiny, saying as a publicly owned company, Nigerians deserve to know about the operations of the corporation.
It is a promise that we are going to become accountable to citizens. That's the essence of transparency, is that you are accountable to the citizens. and we will be accountable to the citizen.
He reiterated his management team commitment to transparency and accountability when he had a maiden town hall engagement with the staff of the corporation, where he launched the team's policy direction, tagged transparency, accountability, and performance excellence. Tape.
A major player in the oil and gas industry, ExxonMobil, has attributed its landmark achievements in the Nigerian oil and gas sector to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, noting that the result-oriented leadership provided by the corporation has helped a great deal in growing the energy sector in Nigeria. The chairman and managing director of ExxonMobil, Mr. Paul McGrath, who is also the chairman of the Oil Producers Trade Section, OPTS, of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industries, LCCI, disclosed this at the 2019 edition of the annual conference of the Nigerian Association of Energy Correspondents, NAEC, in Lagos. A press release by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Undu Uhamadu, stated that the ExxonMobil boss, in his opening remarks as chairman of the conference, listed NNPC's prompt settlement of the cash call arrears as one of the many interventions by the corporation that helped the company to remain stable in business.
I want to congratulate the NNPC leadership for the solid achievements so far recorded, resolving some seemingly intractable industry challenges.
In his keynote address, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Mele Kyari, said the corporation, beyond efforts to fix the refineries, was focusing on unlocking the huge opportunities in the gas sector to fast-track the country's industrialization agenda. Malam Kyari, who was represented by the corporation's Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Umar Ajia, stated that the National Oil Company was looking at the full deployment of modern technologies to drive efficiency and institute a transparent system that could compete favorably with other players on the global stage.
The position of the gas as a catalyst for national development. All hands must be on deck to ensure that using the realistic government policies, gas is fully utilized domestically.
Earlier in his address, the chairman of the Nigerian Association of Energy Correspondents, NAEC, Mr. Tunde Dodondawa, said there was need for the country to look beyond fossil fuel and venture into renewable energy for a safer environment.
NNPC is doing a great job. They have shown that they have the interest and commitment not only in their primary duties but also in building the community around them. They've created this platform to challenge students and also to reward them for academic excellence.
NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways.
The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has disclosed that the average price paid by consumers for premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, decreased by minus 1.2% year-on-year and minus 0.2% month-on-month to 145.0 naira in July 2019 from 145.4 naira in June 2019. The NBS in its July report stated that states with the lowest average price of premium motor spirit petrol were Abuja, Kogi 143 naira and Katsina 142 naira 50 kobo. It added that the average price per litre paid by consumers for national household kerosene decreased by minus 0.13% month-on-month and increased by 14.14% year-on-year to 316 naira 3 kobo in July 2019 to 316 naira 43 kobo in June 2019. States with the lowest average price per litre of kerosene were Benue, 250 naira, Kwara, 250 naira, and Nasarawa, 250 naira. Similarly, average price per gallon paid by consumers for national household kerosene decreased by minus 0.44% month-on-month and increased by 21.10% year-on-year to 1,211 naira 18 kobo in July 2019 from 1,216 naira 53 kobo in June 2019. States with the lowest average price per gallon of kerosene were Osun, 1,071 naira 15 kobo, Akwa Ibom, 1,070 naira 75 kobo, and Bayelsa, 1,026 naira 15 kobo. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has forecast that the global gross domestic product GDP growth for 2019 has revised lower to 3.1%, with a slight decrease from the month of July 2019. This was contained in the OPEC August Monthly Oil Market Report, MOMR. The MOMR covers major issues affecting the world oil market and provides an outlook for crude oil market development for the coming year. The report provides a detailed analysis of key developments impacting oil market trends in world oil demand, supply, as well as the oil market balance. It stated that the forecast for 2020 remains 3.2%. The report further said that the United States economic growth forecast for 2019 is revised down by 0.2% to 2.4% after significant data revisions by the U.S. Statistical Office. The GDP growth for 2020 remains at 2%. In 2019, oil demand is anticipated to grow by 1.1 million barrels per day year-on-year, a downward revision of about 0.05 million barrels per day from the previous month's projection, mainly due to weak and unexpected oil demand data from Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, Americas, Asia, and the Middle East in the first half of 2019. Total oil demand for the year is now anticipated to reach 99.92 million barrels per day. For 2020, world oil demand is expected to grow by 1.14 million barrels per day, in line with last month's projection, with total world consumption anticipated to average 101.05 million barrels per day. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, have pledged to work together to run pipeline vandals and oil thieves out of business in the country. A press release by the corporation's Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Undu Hamadu, said the two organizations made the commitment when the Group Managing Director of NNPC, Malam Mele Kyari, received the Commandant General of the Corps, Abdullahi Muhammadu, at the NNPC towers in Abuja. Malam Kyari, who was represented by the Chief Operating Officer downstream, Engineer Adeyemi Adetunji, disclosed that as part of efforts to rid the nation of the menace of pipeline breaks, the new management was putting in place a performance-based pipeline protection system to enable relevant security stakeholders to live up to their billing. The GMD noted that the collaboration between the NNPC and the NSCDC had gone a long way in ensuring uninterrupted supply and distribution of petroleum products through the pipelines and various depots.
To express the appreciation of NNPC for all the support you are getting from NSCDC and indeed all other government security agencies in ensuring that our pipelines are available, are not tampered with, and we can use them for the purposes they were built to transport crude or products from one part of the country to the other.
Earlier, the Commandant General of the Corps, Mr. Muhammadu, represented by the Deputy Commandant General Aminu Abdullahi, said protection and security of NNPC pipelines and oil assets were part of the constitutional responsibilities of the Corps, stressing that NSCDC would continue to do its best to send pipeline vandals out of business.
We assure you of our continuous support of protecting the national asset infrastructure, especially the NNPC, the right of way of the NNPC, and other assets of the NNPC.
He noted that the NSCDC would declare a date of the year that would soon be announced as Anti-Pipeline Vandalism Day as part of concerted efforts to create more awareness on the dangers of pipeline vandalism to the national economy. Ongoing efforts by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, to provide qualitative healthcare services to Nigerians in all walks of life received a major boost with the formal accreditation of the NNPC Health Management Organization, HMO, by the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS. Receiving the certificate of accreditation at the NHIS headquarters in Abuja, the Managing Director of the NNPC HMO, Dr. Musa Ribadu, said NNPC being a corporation known for quality performance, was ready to improve the scheme and offer real-time value to prospective beneficiaries of its packages.
We are confident that our entry into the market will increase the national coverage statistics by at least 1 to 2 digits within the next 12-18 months.
In his remarks, the Executive Secretary NHIS, Dr. Mohammed Nasir Sambo, expressed confidence in the capacity of the NNPC to fully utilize the opportunity offered by the NHIS accreditation to operate an efficient HMO that would deliver the much-desired first-rate services to its clientele.
I'm not unaware that NNPC is one of the most organized organizations in Nigeria. And since they are well organized, we have no doubt in our minds that NNPC will do whatever it takes to uphold the virtue and the tenets of the health insurance in Nigeria.
Hello, it's good to have you join us on the feedback segment of the program. My name is Julia Auta. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, will be collaborating with some major stakeholders in the oil and gas sector to establish condensate refineries for the production of petroleum products. This week, our roving camera on the street wants to hear from the public their opinions on NNPC's foray into condensate refineries.
When production is done here in our country, you will discover that there will be no more going to other people's country to go and boost their economy.
Building a refinery, I think, is the best. Dangote is doing one, and we ask other people to put hands together and make it a reality.
Yeah, I think it's a welcome development, but let there be sincerity of purpose.
Absolutely, is the right step in the right direction if they will follow the implementation to the letter.
It will help a lot. Yeah, there is no two ways about it.
It's a very nice idea. I'll be very glad if it's really come to existence.
Collaboration with other people for condensate refinery. I think that is a good step in the right direction.
Well, a condensate refinery is a simple plant designed to handle light hydrocarbon from natural gas well. And that's it on this segment. Please stick around for the other parts of the program. Hello, welcome to this segment of the program. My name is Faith Ayuba. Did you know that NNPC is progressing with the establishment of condensate refineries to fast-track domestic supply of petroleum products? The corporation will support the actualization of the 650,000 barrels per day Dangote refinery, as well as other private initiatives to return Nigeria to a net exporter of petroleum products. Did you know that the drive for the establishment of condensate refineries by the NNPC will ensure that petroleum engineers and other professionals have the opportunity to render critical services and share in the drive to develop our country? Did you know that the NNPC will leverage technology and innovation to achieve the goal of building an energy company of global excellence? Did you also know that this government, under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, is determined to deliver a stable fiscal environment to support the needed growth in the oil and gas sector? Now you know. Please don't go away as the rest of the program continues.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil prices dipped, powering earlier gains, weighed down by worries about the global economy and bigger than expected bills in oil product inventories in the United States, the world's biggest oil consumer. Brent crude futures dropped 16 cents or 0.3% to $60.14 per barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures slipped 10 cents or 0.2% to $55.58 per barrel. U.S. gasoline and distillate stockpiles rose more than expected last week, while crude inventories fell as refineries hiked production, the Energy Information Administration said on Wednesday. Traders were worried about the prospects for global oil demand, especially amid trade tensions between the U.S. and China, the world's two biggest economies and oil users. Meanwhile, oil markets found some support from the simmering tensions between U.S. and Iran after Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said if Iran's oil exports are cut to zero, international waterways will not have the same security as before. And that's it on this segment of the program. I am Owigo Okolo.
Well, for those out there, you can always make it on stage. You can always win. Just work hard, focus, and everything will come your way.
That's been Oil and Gas Forum for this week. New news of life coming into the industry. Thanks for joining us. NNPC wishes you a delightsome week. Keep the date next.